Hey guys, in this video I'm going to teach you how to play the song Savior by Rise Against from their album Ghost Note Symphonies. I did a cover for this that you can watch if you want to play along after you've learned it. And as always, tabs are going to be in the description below. If you like it and you learned something, hopefully you subscribe. But let's get right into it. Alright guys, before we get started, let's talk about setting up your guitar. You're going to either want it in half-step down tuning with a capo on the 2nd fret if you want to play it like I'm going to teach it and how Rise Against plays it. Or if you've got your guitar tuned in standard, you can put it on the 1st fret and it'll sound exactly the same when you play these same chords. Alright, now the chords we're going to be using are going to be A minor, C major, a variation of an F major, G over B, a major G, and an E minor. We're going to be using those chords throughout the entire song, and most of them are played in the same order throughout the song. So once you get one part, the other should be easier too. We're going to start with the intro. Intro sounds like this. All the way up into those last 3 strums. Intro is broken up into 2 parts. You play them twice. So first part I'm going to show you is this. And we're going to use the A minor and C major chord for that. So you're going to strum down on the A minor, and then you're going to pick the 1st fret of the B string, 2nd fret G, then you're going to pluck the 3rd fret of the B string. So, then open high E string, 3rd fret B, and then back to the 1st fret of the B. So altogether that A minor is going to be played like this. And then you switch to the C chord. So for the C chord, you're going to strum down, let it ring out for a second, and then you're going to go up, up, down, up, down. So both of those together. Then we move on to the 2nd part. That's going to be F, C, and G over B. Sounds like this. So F chord, we're going to strum down and pluck it the same way we did the A minor. So strum down on the F, 1st fret B, 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B, open high E, 3rd fret B, 1st fret B. Now we're going to switch to the C major chord, and this one gets strummed a little bit differently than the first time. We're going to do a down strum and then down, down, up. So. Then you switch to the G over B chord, which is going to be 2nd fret A, 1st fret B. The rest are open, and you're going to do the same down, 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 up. And that transition is just walking down from C, B, G over B, sorry, and then you're going to repeat to the A minor, which I'll show you in a second. So down, 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 up, down, 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 up. That's what we're doing essentially with the bass notes. F, C, and G over B. So put those 2 parts together, and that leads into the 2nd half of this intro, which is going to sound almost the same with the minor difference at the end. So 2nd part is going to sound like this, and played mostly the same way. That's the only difference. So you're still going to do the A minor to the C, to the F major. Then you're going to go C and do the down, 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 up. But when you get to the G over B, you're just going to strum it down and let it ring out. So it's going to go. after it rings out for a minute, before you get into the next part with all the strumming, you're going to mute the strings just by resting your fingers on top of the string so nothing rings out. And you're going to do an up, down, up strum. Just like that. Really easy. So now the intro all together. Now you've got the intro down. So the next part you're going to learn is the strum out portion between the intro and then the next part where he says there is no reconciliation. It's going to sound like this. So from that last up, down, up strum that we learned, I'm going to transition into the next part. So. If you can learn this part, you're going to get the rest of the song really, really easy, I promise you. What we're going to do is we're going to use the same chords that we used and picked out before for the intro. We're just strumming them now. Starting with that A minor, you're going to go down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. That's going to be your strumming pattern for, well, really the next chords that come up. C. Be a little bit of a difference with this F chord. Same strumming pattern, but you're going to do something in between. So once you get to that F, you're going to go down, down, up, and then you're going to pull off your 2nd fret G string and leave that one open when you do the up, down, down, up, down, up. Like that. It's a minor difference. You can play the F chord all the way through if you don't want to do that, but it really, really sounds nice when you get it together. And then the C and the G over B that we played in the intro are going to be the next ones, and you're going to strum it again the same way, but just with the transition. It's going to be C, down, down, up, down, switch to G over B when you come back up, up, down. So starting from the F to that end portion. And now the whole strumming part together. Starting with A minor. Get into the actual first verse. Okay, next part is going to be the verse where he says there is no reconciliation. It's the same chords and strumming pattern as what you just learned, just palm muted. If you don't know what palm muting is, it's where you rest your palm right here on top of the strings as you strum them. So it's going to create a muted sound. Now some notes are going to ring out, and that's okay, mostly towards the B and high E string. That's alright. But the main goal is to keep your palm on top of the strings while you strum. Strumming pattern, chords are going to be the exact same as before, like I said. It's going to sound like this. So again, with that A minor, palm muted, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, C, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, F, down, down, up, remove the 2nd fret of the G string, up, down, down, up, I'll do that one together. Back to C, down, down, up, down, switch to G over B, up, down, down, up, down, just to make this a little more clear for you guys, I'll start with strumming them out normally like we did in the previous part, and then I'll just start palm muting so you can see the difference. So, like I said, same chords, same strumming pattern. All you gotta do is rest your palm on top of the strings on your strumming hand and play the same chords, same picking pattern. You're just not swinging around as much over here. But that's gonna be that first verse from There Is No Reconciliation all the way to the pre-chorus. Next part up is the pre-chorus, and it's gonna sound like this. Easy as that. So, chords we're going to use for the pre-chorus are going to be F, G, and E minor. Now these are strummed out, so no palm muting involved. The strumming pattern is different than it was before though. Starting with the F chord, you're going to do 2 kind of quick down strums. Then you're going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And that's going to be your strumming pattern for the next 2 chords after that. Down, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up. Then you're going to switch to G, same strumming pattern as the F. Down, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up. So those 2 together. Go back to an F with the same strumming pattern. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. And here's where a change happens. So you're going to strum a G once and then mute the strings right after. And to mute the strings, you just rest your palm back on them. That's it. And then last one, after you mute the strings from that G, you're going to do the E minor same way. Sounds a little weird out of context. So let's play it from that F. That's how you're going to play it for the end of the pre-chorus. So pre-chorus again, all together a little bit slower. Now before we move on to the next part, I'm going to show you the lead part of the pre-chorus that plays in the background of the part you just learned. It sounds like this. So you're going to want to have your middle finger 2nd fret G string, index finger 1st fret B string, and pinky or ring finger, whichever one's more comfortable, on the 3rd fret of the high E string. And you're going to kind of play low to high and then back down. What I mean by that is you're going to pluck G, B, E, B, G. So you walk up the strings and then back down. Picking G, B, E, B, G. Then you go back to the 1st fret of the B string, and then back to the G string, but you're going to play the G string open. So you're going to take your middle finger off of the G string. And then the last note you're going to play is again that B string. And you're going to play this 3 times, but on the 3rd time you're going to add an extra note. This is how you play the 3rd time. So that's the only difference, is you're adding that extra. So now you know both the strumming part of the pre-chorus as well as the backing lead that you can hear on the song. Now we're going to move into the chorus. So the nice part about the chorus is that you already learned most of it since you played it in between the intro and that first verse. It's going to be the same chords, same strumming pattern up until the end. So if you remember, it's going to be A minor, C, F, C, and then G over B. And the strumming pattern is the same because it still goes down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So you play the first part exactly the same, and the second part of the chorus almost exactly the same with one minor change at the end. So again, same thing. and then you do a down strum and mute the strings right after. So just like we did in the pre-chorus, strum down, mute with your palm. And then switch to the G over B and do the same thing. And that's it. So those two portions are the whole chorus, and it'll lead you into the next verse, which is played a little bit differently from the first. So hopefully that makes sense. You should already know it by now. At least I hope you do. Otherwise, I'm terrible at my job. So the second verse starts off a little bit differently, just with a couple down strums on the A minor and the C chord, but then it goes right back into the palm muting with the same strumming pattern we've been using. The down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. It goes right back into that. So you already learned the second portion of the second verse, if you learned at the beginning of the video. Just gonna play it through, it'll sound like this. And the days pressed on like crushing weights, for no man does it ever wait. Like memories, dying days, that deafen us like hurricanes. Bathed in flames, we held the brand, and curled the fingers in your hand, pressed into the flesh like sand. Now do you understand? So tell me. And then you go into the pre-chorus. Like I said, strumming pattern, palm muting, all is the same as the first verse. The only difference is that very beginning, and the days pressed on like crushing weights. It's going to be A minor and then C. So that's the second verse. Now I'm going to show you how to play the interlude. Now this is the part between the second chorus and then the bridge. It's going to sound like this. To the bridge 1,000 miles away. So this one, the strumming pattern changes up from what we've been used to throughout the song thus far. So you're going to start with the F chord, and the strumming pattern is going to be down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. So down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. And then we're going to switch in the middle of a down up strum. So it's going to be one more down, and then the up strum you're going to switch to an A minor chord. And then you're going to continue that up, down, 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 up, down, down for that. So try to do it a little bit slower. It's kind of hard to get the timing when you slow it down. Switch. Down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. And then you're going to do that same switch in between two strums back to the F chord. So down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. Hopefully that's making sense. So you go F, A minor, back to F, and then back to A minor, but the second A minor is a little bit different. So when you go back to the A minor the second time in this interlude, you still do the switch from the F to the A minor, so down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. But instead of repeating that, you're going to do one more down, up strum, and then you switch the strumming patterns to all down, up, down, up. So one more down, up strum on the A minor, and then you're going to do the A minor, down, up, down, up. Switch to G, down, up, switch to F, down, up, and then back to G, down, up. So just that second half, F, A minor, and then all those switches. Into the 1,000 miles away part. So that's how you play the interlude. Alright, next part is the bridge, and guess what? Same strumming pattern as the chorus, same chords with minor differences. I feel like I'm repeating myself a bunch of times, but it's true. So I'm going to play it through until it changes from the chorus pattern from the interlude that we just learned. Different part, but that's where it changes. So you're gonna do the same as the chorus for that first part, A minor, C, F, C, G over B, and then the second part is gonna be A minor, C, F, and then instead of going to C and then G over B, we're gonna switch to an A minor, C, F, G, and they're gonna be strummed a little bit differently. So from that F chord, you're gonna switch to A minor and do down, down, up, switch to C, down, down, up, switch to F, down, down, up, and then switch to G, down, down, up. So all together from that F. And then you're gonna go into the next part, which is picked out. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, the bridge is played just like the chorus, same open chords, and then you just switch it up at the end with that last part I just showed you. Now we're gonna get into the picking part, which is a little more difficult. So you're gonna use the same chords for the picked out portion that we have been in the verses and the choruses. So it's still gonna be A minor, C, F, C, G over B, but instead you're gonna pick out between the bass note, high E, and B strings. And the pattern for each one is going to be bass note, high E, B, high E, bass note. And you're gonna repeat it for each one. So I'll start with the A minor and then move from there. So starting with the A minor, you're gonna pluck the bass note, which in this case is the open A string. Then you're gonna pluck high E, B, high E. And then you're gonna repeat that 3 more times. So 4 times all together. And then you're gonna switch. Now we're gonna switch to the C, and in this case the bass note is the 3rd fret of the A string, but you're still going to alternate between the E and the B strings. 4 times. So hopefully you're seeing the pattern now. Now F, this one's a little bit tricky because you got to wrap your thumb around the top unless you want to switch your fingers entirely. I don't like to do that, so I put my thumb on the 1st fret of the low E string and then pick it out the same way. So 1st fret of the low E string is the bass note. And then if you remember the pattern for the chords, it's going to go to a C again. So same way we did before, bass note, 3rd fret A. But you're only going to do this one twice instead of 4 times like we have been. So C 2 times, and then switch to the G over B 2 times. So 2nd fret A string is the bass note. So C and G over B get 2 instead of 4. Now you're going to play all of those 2 times in total for this part. And this, the whole time he's just saying, I don't hate you in the background. So A minor, C, F, C, G over B. Alright, the last thing you need to know about the song is just the ending of the final chorus because he plays it a little bit longer than before. Chords and the strumming pattern are going to be identical up until the very end. So I'm just going to play that very end portion where he's going to end the song. So I'm going to do one measure of A, C, F, and then the last part where it just changes very, 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 very small change. That's it. That was the change at the very end. So you're going to go from that F, which is the same strumming pattern as before. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, C, mute, G over B, mute, and then you're going to strum the A minor and let it ring out for a bit, and then you're gonna strum A minor and mute real quick. That's it, that's the end of the song. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, subscribe and turn the bell on. It really helps the channel out. I'd appreciate it very much. I'm going to try to do more videos like this, get back to my roots and do proper tutorials instead of mediocre covers. As always, the tabs are going to be in the description below if you want to download them so you can play on your own time without watching the video. But again, thanks guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.